Two new Start Collecting boxes have joined the Age of Sigmar stable.
Spiky Bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Baer from SpikyBits.com, and we are checking out the two new Start Collecting boxes for Age of Sigmar. It's 2019, and we saw the Idoneth Deepkin first previewed about this time last year at Gamma, and then I think fully previewed at Adepticon, if I recall correctly. And of course, Magickin of Nurgle actually got their Battle Tome, I think in February, towards the beginning of this month, 1 year ago in 2018. So it seems like G-Dub goes about a year until they put out the Start Collecting to give people a little bit of value. Now, let's see, the Deepkin had a larger Battleforce offering at the holidays, which was great, but the Guard weren't in it, and that was kind of one of the key units that are a lot of folks seem to take in the Deepkin because they do so many mortal wounds when they impact, which is really dope. And the Magickin of Nurgle, well, they do Nurgle things. That's such a large and varied book. You can do so many different things with it. But as you might know, the price of these have gone up. They were originally, all the Start Collectings were $85, and now they all went up starting February 4th to either $90 or $95, depending on, you know, where they fall in GW's big spreadsheet of power. But as far as that goes, we'll kind of show you the retail on these and exactly how much savings is still to be had, even though they are a new release. They both, of course, well, one's 90 and one's 95. This one, the Deepkin is actually 90 and the Magickin are 95. So once we get this bad boy open, you can kind of see a little bit better. It's not quite full up with stuff in here, but it's still, like I said, definitely a good value. You're gonna get, well, your pack of all your bases, your soul render duder here, and we've shown you all this stuff here on the channel in the past. So that's your special character. He's the shredder looking dude, so to speak, as the internet dubbed him. And then you've got your Achaean guard. Those are the eels that everybody seems to love so much, and a squad of the Namerti Thralls, which of course have firmly embedded themselves in the deployment, or in the little flight stands right there. So there's your Thralls, and these are pretty much a squad that you're going to want to take as far as the game goes, because they're really good at killing things with multiple wounds or larger beast type things. There's a better look at the eels. Now, we've shown you all this stuff here in the past on the channel, so we're not going to spend too much time on it. And there's Mr. Shredder, a better look at him, just your typical clan pack, of course, with lots of detail and things on him. Now, when it comes to the instruction manual, of course, they're going to tell you all the stuff that you need to know, but there's a little bonus in the back right here, and that is that they do have their own battalion. That, well, it probably doesn't have a points cost, and it's probably not for match play, but you can play it right out of the box, and that allows you to bring back, re-roll the D3 to determine how many models are returned to a unit when you use the soul render. So that's kind of cool. It's something very cool. Just a little bonus, but like I said, probably not going to be match play points for that, but they could put out an FAQ at some point and include all of the battalions from these Start Collectings here. Now, as far as value goes, because we love talking about value here, this is a $90 Start Collecting, so it's $5 more than the old retail price of $85. The Guard, book in at $50 retail, your Thralls at $50 retail, and your Soul Render is one of those $25 characters. So grand total of $125. So your savings is about $35, which is roughly a little bit over a third the cost of buying them separately, and they're all good units in some ways. I'm not sure how many of these boxes you would want to buy, but I feel like you definitely need these for your battle line and these just to hit hard, but you probably wouldn't need more than 2 of these boxes, and you may not need 2 of that guy right there. So give or take, maybe you'll be able to resell some, but either way it'll give you some stuff to convert if you have an extra one of those right there. On the Nurgle side of things, well, it's a little bit more value for your buck out of this one, but the problem is that you may not want these Blight Lords quite as much. They are still good, but they're not like groundbreaking or anything like that when it comes to the Magickin army, but they're very cool. You could cross them over with 40k or do a lot of different conversions and things. Just as models go, they are way better than the demon versions of them, in my humble opinion. but I digress. So this one is actually going to give you a lot more value. Like I said, you're going to get your Lord of Blights right here. Let's talk about this. Let's pull this out. So first up, you get the Lord of Blights. He is a great little looking character here with that dope fly shield and just a wicked bad beatdown hammer thing. A great weapon, whatever you want to call it. And then you've got the Blight Kings themselves. Now remember, these came out right about the time of the end times when they blew up Fantasy and rebooted it over to Age of Sigmar. So not as many people have these models, so maybe it'd be a good opportunity to pick them up, as they do go for a lot straight out of the box if you're just to pick the squad up. So you have to start looking if you're looking to pick up Nurgle, potentially be like, do I get to start collecting now, or do I just buy some stuff a la carte? And then the Blight Lords themselves, like I said, are much more detailed than their demon-y brothers, because of course those are probably about, let's see, those came out, gosh, I don't even know, 2011. We're talking 8-9 years ago, potentially less than that, but I want to say they're at least that right there. So the only one thing I don't like about this kit is that the legs are actually molded, or have to be molded into the howdahs kind of here, the rider howdahs. But as far as like the actual texture and just so much more detail work here in the actual skin, the fur, just everything about the little, I don't want to call them, we'll call them legs, like fly legs. I don't know what the technical term here is for those, but otherwise just incredible looking miniatures, and I think they're really cool. Sometimes I feel like they just don't get a fair shake from players in the Magnet Kim book there, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not seeing something I should, but I think they're cool looking models that maybe need a little bit better rules. So you can kind of flip through and see the full color instructions, and they got a nice little full color back there showing Eroticus. But the thing I do want to show you is, it's kind of cool, is their battalion. They have a battalion as well. It's probably not for match play, but it just allows you to heal one more wound to each unit from this battalion that's wholly within 6 inches of a Lord of Blights. So it's very similar to, say, I think the Poxbringer's ability has the same one for the battalion that comes in the demon version of this. But you know, being able to kind of group stuff into multiple battalions throughout friendly games, and then just kind of healing back wounds, and a lot of times you can heal back D3 wounds. And before you know it, you're just back to full strength, and that's kind of one of the strengths of the Flesh Eaters too. So it's really neat to see. Now, as far as values go, well, this one's definitely a winner. So the Lord of Blights, obviously $25, little clan pack duder. The Blight Lords are $65 box set, and the Blight Kings are a $55 box set for a grand total of $145, which means if you pick up Start Collecting, you're saving $50, which I don't have to tell you the math on $50 and a $145. That's also about a third, but I feel like it's a solid third. Depending on how you round it. It's not like that fake third like we just talked about with the Deacon. This is a real third here people. So, I mean, overall, I think it's definitely a good value. Obviously, the better value of the two, but maybe the Deepkin's a little bit more useful for Age of Sigmar as far as that goes. So that's pretty much it. That's everything I can show you this week. Not a whole lot. I think we're ramping up to some of the new Chaos Space Marine and Primaris releases here in March. GW definitely has a lot of ground to cover as far as previews go, fulfilling expectations and things, and I can't wait to see what comes out next here from all the previews. And of course, we'll unbox everything we can get our hot little hands on if we're not traveling to Adepticon or some other events that we got going on here this month. So we're gonna get on out of here. Thank you very much for watching these videos. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos.